What it do, Sour Crew? It is your host, So. Welcome to my first episode of my brand new podcast, Haloes. Fuck! It's Melancholia N Haloes. Listen, it's been 4 minutes of me recording the intro. This is the last time. What it do? What's up? Welcome. For today's episode, I want it to be an introduction. What this podcast is, how it came about, the creation of it, what to expect, who I am, the meaning behind it all. So, the first thing I thought of was, what is the theme of this podcast? What is it going to revolve around? And that was a pretty easy decision to make because I wanted it to be about me, my personal podcast, all about me, myself, and I. I'm a Capricorn. Can you tell? And that means I could just sit down and talk about everything. I wanted to talk about my life, the lessons I've learned up until this point, the downfalls that I've had, the triumphs that I've experienced, and most importantly, my interests. I feel like over the past handful of years, I've lost touch with a lot of things that brought me a lot of joy and happiness. And I am barely grasping at those things again. And I'm having a great time. I'm having the best time. So, first and foremost, we could start with the title, because that's what I came up with first, and that's what I thought was most important to me, that would give me the meaning behind everything going forward. So what I did is I took my name and I rearranged the letters, and I came up with Melancholia N Haloes. And I thought, how fitting. Melancholia being, a state of depression and sadness and gloom, which is something I've experienced most of my life, and halos being, a spiritual term, an angel's halo, and halos being multiple versions of spirituality, multiple versions of gods and belief systems. And for me personally, spirituality, I was raised Catholic Christian. And so the imagery that I really look to is God and angels. And over the years, it has transformed more into energy and having a respect for everyone's religion and seeing them as all valid. And so through my difficult times in life, I've always turned to spirituality. It's always been something that has always been right beside me, very easy to access. And if I'm being completely honest, I believe that I was extremely and am extremely spoiled in terms of spirituality. And every time that I pray, I get what I want. More so, within reason. And so it was always a vice that I used to lean on during difficult times. And it helped me find the path to success and enlightenment. And so there's 2 letters missing from this title that would complete my name, and that's being an F and an M, a F and a M. I don't know why I'm saying an. And I took that to mean feminine energy and masculine energy. As I had previously stated, how I look at spirituality is through energy. And I believe that I am a very good vessel and an example of a balance between feminine and masculine energy. So you have my title, Melancholia N Haloes, and then you have me, the host. So the F and the M coming all together, bringing it all together, and completing a cycle. So that was the start of the creation of just this podcast. And going deeper into it, I thought, well, what else am I going to incorporate in this podcast to make it what it is, to make it more me and to make it more comfortable and to allow myself to for the first time, be able to accurately express myself in a medium that I'm extremely comfortable with, that I've always used for an outlet for comfort, and having it represent who I am and not have anybody make assumptions about me as a person when I can accurately depict it here. And of course, it is on camera. I'm talking, I kind of go a little blank in the head at times, so it's not a full 100% accurate depiction of who I am, but it's pretty close. So that's me. I want this, of course, this podcast to be an outlet to express myself, my fault, achievements, lessons, my life journey, and interests. This is just to give a little recap. And talk about who I am, what my dreams are, how they came about, and what took me so long to get here. So, my dreams have always been to work in some type of film medium, more digital content than anything else. When I was younger, I used to watch a lot of television shows with my grandpa. So a lot of Law and Order, CSI, crime shows. And growing up, I was always thinking, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a crime scene investigator. And I think it took me until maybe the beginning of high school to realize that my passion wasn't to be these things I saw on TV. It was acting. It was this creative medium and outlet that I was so attracted to. And it really cemented to me with the conception of YouTube. So starting off, I would always use YouTube for music videos and maybe to watch funny videos. And I think being young at the time, the youth really get into the niches of the trends and what's new. So I was able to connect with these people that were using YouTube as a creative outlet and an artistic outlet, more so than a business. It's blinking. Do I have to pause it and keep going? Oh. That was weird. It started blinking at 11 minutes and I was like, hello. And so, maybe fast forward a couple of years. I think YouTube's conception was around 2006. Maybe fast forward to high school for me, which was 2009. I really got into covers, like people singing covers of their favorite songs and making renditions of those songs, and vlogs, lifestyle, skits were really big at the time. And I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do what they were doing, and I wanted to get on camera, and I wanted to have a creative outlet and express myself just the same way they were expressing themselves. I think the first vlogging channel and the first creative channel that I really got into was a channel called CTFXC. At the time, it was with Charles Trippy and his now ex-wife Ali Speed, and I was obsessed. I think I had watched them my entire high school years, so 4 years, and would binge their content, which they would upload a vlog every single day. And from there, it just spiraled into all of these other channels and outlets. I know many people know Shane Dawson. He's been in a lot of controversy over the past maybe 2 years, but back then, I remember really enjoying his content. And we can touch on this topic at a later date, but his content wasn't really kid-friendly. But that's what I was attracted to and gravitated towards. And it really shows the mindset that I was in at that age. Only 13, 14. Going forward, these content creators, these digital content creators, would have more of an impact on me than Hollywood and mass media. And fast forward over 10 years, and I'm finally here. I finally was able to pull the plug. And they always say uploading your first video is the first step and is the hardest thing to do. And I agree. It was difficult for me to just sit down, create something I was passionate about, and upload without worrying about how it looks and how it sounds, and just doing it for fun, for myself. And I did that, and it snowballed into me sitting here today making my first podcast and feeling really good about it, and feeling like this is the right thing to do, and I'm on the right path for success. And now, just to touch on a little bit of my interests, which are definitely going to play a role into this podcast moving forward. So spirituality I already touched on, and in that realm of spirituality, we have like the Christian Catholic God and angels, and then we have horoscope, astrology, and tarot cards. Now, I know in recent years they've gotten a lot of shit, a lot of flack, and it's kind of been joked on a lot. But I really enjoy it. I really like it. It brings me a lot of comfort, and it's something that makes it easy for me to relate energy in a spiritual form, and it gives me context, it gives me structure, it gives me a foundation to lay these beliefs on. Now, in all religions and beliefs, we do have bad apples that will take advantage of people, the art form behind these beliefs, and the structures behind these beliefs, and they will use it for their own good. I think that's been shown from the beginning of time, that that's the way people think, and it's inevitable. And so I always keep an open mind. As much as I am a creative and artistic person, I do rely on science to help me understand the world around me. I'm very much into fantasy in the magical realm, and I think that science is just a language that we are able to understand, that I'm able to understand, and so I relate that to tarot and to the horoscopes and astrology. So if astrology is just another form of science, it makes sense to me. If tarot is reading and being able to read the energy that is around you and the trajectory of where this energy is going, that makes sense to me. So over the past 3-4 years, I've really gotten into tarot, and I've always dabbled around in astrology. Both forms are still very fun to me, and I take them seriously to an extent, and they've really helped me grow as a person and helped me through very difficult times. And it's definitely something that we will touch on going forward in this podcast. And another thing would be art form. So what is my art form? What do I really connect to? And over the past couple of years, I've been able to realize that I could probably be classified as a collage artist, getting different forms of medium, different artists' work, and putting them all together and bunching them all together to create an entirely different art form that expresses what I wanted to express. I think with the intro and outro to this podcast, you'll be able to see my collage art play, take apart, showcased. And it is a bit iffy because I just go on Google and type in things and save them and put them together. So licensing and copyright infringement is of course a thing. The fact that I'm making this podcast and these videos for myself and they don't get any views, I don't think it's an issue right now. But going forward, when I do make something of myself in the digital art space, it's something that I'm going to have to take into account. And hopefully I get to a point where I'm making money either through this or a job will finally call me back. It's been difficult on this end, honey. 4 months of trying to look for a job and ain't nothing. So I'll be able to, which is something I've always wanted to do for many, many years, is get custom artwork for myself, commission artwork, which is a dream, and then be able to use that to further my artistic processes. So that's something I'm very excited for, and it's something that I'll probably touch on and you'll probably see going forward. Now, maybe I'll talk about this one first. Conspiracy theories, come on. They've gotten more popular over the years, but it's been something I've always been extremely interested in. And it's always the unknown, the what ifs, the possibilities that lie in our realm. Our world is all about possibilities. And conspiracy theories are definitely going to play a part in this podcast. We're definitely going to have some episodes where we talk about this. Like right now, I just came across the video talking about Australia's unclassified documents about cat aliens. Honey, cat aliens. I'm all in. Apparently it started making its rounds in popular pop culture, TikTok, this year, but the documents were released in 2008, I believe. So that's just a little bit of a little touch and a little taste of what's to come. And also, tarot can be involved in conspiracy theories too. Someone that I follow who's a psychic and a tarot reader, his name is Antphrodite. He has a YouTube channel I'll link below, and a Twitch that I frequent all the time. I rarely miss a stream the past maybe year, a couple of months. And it's so fun. It's something that you can have in the background while you're working, something that you can engage in, a nice community to talk to, and I think he's very good at what he does and being an entertainer, and he is extremely talented, whether you want to believe in psychics and tarot or not. And the last thing I want to touch on, music. Oh, music. As dramatic as it seems, we all have something that, when we're going through something very difficult in life, something that saves us from those moments. And music has definitely been that for me. We could touch on this in another episode, but I was in a very low and dark place in my life and was left alone. And I knew that I was not ready to give up because I was still so excited for artists that I love to drop music and their music video, their choreography videos, dances. And so knowing that, I knew deep down there was still time for me and that I would make it out of this mindset and this place that I was in simply because that still brought me so much joy that I know it wasn't completely lost. So music will definitely play a big factor coming forward. Dude, the 11 minute mark. What does that mean? Man. If we wanted to touch a little bit on music and what to expect, kind of like what my taste, my genre is, definitely whatever my vibe is at the moment, what's my state of mind is very, very important to me. And the music that I listen to, it very much reflects where I'm at mentally. And Lexie Liu has been someone I've been So I kept seeing Lexie Liu pop up. One video in particular, I believe it's translated to L, on my YouTube recommendations. And I just kept, whatever, who's that? Like, I ain't got time. Like, I wasn't paying it any mind. And then one day I kind of looked at it. It was just a thumbnail of her. And I was like, you know what? I kind of feel this vibe. So I clicked on the video. And instantaneously, I was like, holy shit, I regret not clicking this earlier. This is my shit. This is my vibe. This is how I feel. This is the kind of atmosphere that I feel represents me in this point in time. And after that, I think I was introduced to the song Shadow, or Shadows, and then Manta, and it just snowballed from there. I believe it's an EP that Elle's on, called Stay Gold. I'll link everything in this description below. But it's absolutely phenomenal. I highly recommend you check it out. Ooh, work of art. And as for myself, we could finish this short little introduction podcast with who I am. And I am a creative mind who is very emotionally intelligent. And I think that the life that I have lived and the cards that I have been dealt have led me up to this point. And I finally, as of today, as of very recently, feel like I am leaving my naive and ignorant self behind, that I'm not too sure if God dealt me those cards early in life to be able to deal with what I had to deal with, or if I myself placed those restrictions on me to help me cope with how my life had turned out. But I can confidently say now that I'm getting out of that, and my life experiences, which we will touch on, have really helped me become a better me. And now going forward, I'm extremely hopeful and optimistic, positive, that life's gonna be great and life is gonna be okay and everything is gonna work out. And I'm so glad and excited to be sitting here making this podcast and taking that leap of faith and that step forward into what I've always wanted to do. And I'm very excited and happy and grateful that I'm going to be able to share with you the experiences that have led me to learn the lessons that I needed to reach this point and to reach a healthy mindset, and to help me deal and cope with life. I feel like it's no joke that many of us are struggling and coming to terms with what life really is, and how I could only really speak for the working class, how we're treated and how life is for us and what we have to go through. And I hope that if you do stumble across this podcast, whether we're friends, we follow each other on social media, so you see me post about it, or if you just happen to stumble across me in YouTube algorithm land, which would be insane to me, I hope that you're able to take something away from this that will help you better navigate your life in a more positive way. So thank you everybody for tuning into my first episode of Melancholia N Haloes. I'm your host, and I will see you next time. Peace out.